Hi, I'm Gavin Mitchell, the gallery promoter, DJ booker and resident DJ. This year, 2015, the gallery will be celebrating 20 years, which is a remarkable achievement in London clubland. This is my personal gallery top 20 DJs over those 20 years. Just a bit of friendly fun. Hope you enjoy it. Number 20 is John Askew, very likeable guy, very intelligent, articulate, self-assured. Got the image of a schoolboy, sort of tough, you know, Eton, very well educated. But also he's got that mucky-minded filth of a perverted dirtbag, shall we say, John Askew. If you know him, you will know what I mean. But yeah, John came onto the scene. We're looking for some new talent at the gallery and a new breed sort of acts. And 2003, again, Fergie introducing the Future Heroes. I think it was John was Fergie's first pick. So we got involved with him and he became a resident. Amazing music, Discover, very hard driving, techie sounds with uplifting trance synths. It was so refreshing. Again, it was always a little bit too hard for me, but at that 426 sound, it was perfect, and it was just so exciting and something new and different. I mean, the gallery's always mixed it up musically anyway, you know, from having progressive Hernan 426 to someone like Torpor who was like pumping, and then now John Askew doing 426. It was a breath of fresh air. Yeah, John, he's just fantastic. He just loves playing records, John, you know, or CDs or USBs now, whatever. It was down on friendship, this top 20, John would be number one. You know, I'm still friends with him today. We used the same engineer, Dave Parkinson, and we've had drinks and stuff. He was like stayed over because he was in the next day and stuff, and I'd gone there for a night shift, and then, you know, we're kipping on Dave's couch and John's breaking wind in my face, you know. It's like, that's just John, and I still love him for it. Yeah, musically, it's a talent. He's so good, and producing, it's fantastic. And it's been very good to have John on board. John was resident for us from 2003 up to, I think, 2007 for mainly the Terminals era. And then Ministry, you know, he's playing a couple of times a year for us and stuff. But standout tracks, I think, for John, for me, The Door, which I think was on Discover Records. Still got that on white label with his writing, The Door, Askew, fuck you. And then also was one on Duty Free. I think it was New Dimension, again, Askew sound. It was really cool music. At number 19, we've got two DJs, progressive DJs, Nick Warren and Dave Seaman. Couldn't choose one of them. I needed both of them in there because it was so important to the gallery. At Terminals in, I think it was 2000, 2001, progressive was at its highest, you know, Global Underground's around and Renaissance, two massive labels, and they featured a lot in both of those compilations. And we needed to get someone with a bit of quality, 12 till 2. You know, 12 to 2 is quite an important set time, I thought, at the gallery Terminals, because, you know, the one is important, but the club wasn't really filling up till around about 11:45, and that 12 till 2 slot, you needed something that was going to be slow, but building and building, not burning anyone out, not burning the clubbers out. We didn't want to tire out and leave at, you know, sort of 3 o'clock. The club went on till 7:30, so we needed a bit of quality, and that's what we were looking for in the progressive sort of DJs. And Nick Warren and Dave Seaman especially, they featured regularly at the gallery at Terminals quite a lot, you know, every sort of like 2 months. You know, the music, it's just pure. It's amazing. It's class, it's quality. I keep saying it's so good. You've got to hear this. Any 18-year-old who's coming into the clubbing scene now and they listen to all the mainstream tracks that are there, I do really recommend to go and catch these guys. It's just educating you really, and you know, the whole sort of sound and what we do at the gallery. But you know, with music as well, the standout tracks for Nick and Dave, I'd say Dave Seaman, Luzon Baggio track, which was featured on Cape Town Global Underground. That's where I first heard it anyway, and that's what I always associate Dave Seaman on that 12 to 2 at Terminals. And with Nick Warren, probably Way Out West to 4. Again, just brilliant music. You know, both of these guys, they've been around for so long, their careers, you know, 25 years maybe. They're really two nice chaps and good to hang around. In the earlier days, you know, you'd get Dave Seaman after he finished, he'd be breakdancing in the bar, pissed. And then Nick Warren, he'd be back in the studio cracking on till 5 in the morning. And then that's what we liked. We liked that sort of, you know, those sort of people, DJs who are hanging around, loved us, loved the gallery, loved the club. Number 18 is Corvin Dalek. God, this guy, back in 2001, we were looking further afield into Europe. You know, we kind of covered all the UK acts, all the DJs, and you know, there's a lot of new producer DJs coming out, Sander Kleinenberg, Oliver Lee, Oliver Klein. And then this Corbin Dalek Pounds and Pence track came out and was like, wow, this is amazing. We thought, you know, we'd get in touch and try and get him down for a debut and stuff. And when we first met him and his manager, Mark Reeder, and I just thought, two seedy little men. Honestly, two seedy little men. He was dressed in PVC, Corbin, and Mark, I mean, if anyone knows Mark, he's like, and I love this, I love both of these guys. And Mark, every time, he wore like had a blue suit on. But it wasn't a blue suit like you'd wear in a bank, like silky sort of thing. It's like a DIY, B&Q sort of hard cotton sort of, it's like a prison or something like that. It was so cold. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. And we met him every time and they both wear the same outfits all the time. Even in Miami, when I was in Miami one time and they actually tapped my shoulder in one of the supermarkets, he was in PVC shorts and he was in this blue suit with his sleeves rolled up and it was a bit hotter. That's my first impressions of Corbin, and musically though, it was just something different, sort of on a different planet. The energy, you know, it's dark driving techno with elements of funk in there, filthy vocals. I think the label was Flesh or Wet and Hard or something. The guy, it just brought something new and different. And it was just great, this experience. I mean, we didn't know his background or anything. It was just that one track. And then when we found out they were living in Berlin, and then these sex clubs that they go to, Kit Kat Club, work it out for yourself. Yeah, they was saying this concept that they do called Porno Ground. And we was like, okay, what's this? And they were telling us more about it, they do them elsewhere. But we decided to give it a go, and oh my word, it made headlines in the Clerkenwell Gazette. Sex Night comes to Turmoil's nightclub, like shock and horror. We was like, whoa, is that good press, bad press? I'm not too sure. The actual night itself, we got like maybe 500 Venetian masks, eyes wide shut sort of thing. We had cage dancers, like S&M, gimp mask outfits, PVC, fucking debauchery, dildos, everything. It was fantastic. I loved it. And the music was really, really, really good. I think like Michael Burian and oh God, there was another. Corbin played was the headliner anyway of that night, but it was just an amazing concert, and we got good press on it. Yeah, Corbin, he was an important part of that time. I think 2001 to 2003. Sirius then took him on, and then he started doing the Gate Crashers, the God's Kitchens and stuff. So yeah, Corbin Dalek, number 18. Number 17, again, I couldn't choose just one. I had to put in three. I know it's cheating this, but I had to put three DJs who were in 17. I've got Island Feeler, Cosmic Gate, and John O'Callaghan. And for me, they were all around about that position. Yeah, I couldn't put anyone higher or not include one in without in the top 20. Fardy, Island Feeler, such a likeable guy, very friendly, always got time for his fans, photos, always interested in the club and my personal life, his personal life, you know, always chatting. And he's great to be around, really. And when you watch him behind the decks, you know, his energy. If I'm watching him, he tires me out. But he's so up for it. He's so up for it, this guy. So Fardy, you know, he's brilliant. And he's like, he came into more the gallery at Ministry of Sound in the past 6 years and headlining it and doing his own parties, and you know, his music's proper full on, and he's got a really good gallery following down here now. You know our crowd, they always look forward to it, and you know the advance ticket sales are always good. And yeah, Fardy, brilliant, and Island Feeler, and I look forward to another, you know, many other years with him. The other one as well, John O'Callaghan, not really said more than, I don't know, spent more than 5 minutes talking to John, I don't think. He just comes in, says hello, plays, gets his head down, does a great job. Discover Records, I think that was John Askew and stuff, Sean Tyas, that John O'Callaghan sort of sound, quite important in the gallery because it's like a new sort of trance that was being put down there from the uplifting stuff, a lot more tougher, 138, 140 BPM, which was introduced by John Askew basically, but with John O'Callaghan started playing down at Turmoil's, but when we went to Ministry, headlining and doing his subculture nights, all been a good success, an important part of the gallery setup here. As for Cosmic Gate, again, they played a few times at Turmoil's, but I don't think they were headliners. They were like second on the bill, third on the bill. But went to come to Ministry, headlining now, firm favourite with the crowd. I always seem to speak to to Nick, then Bossy. Bossy usually looking at his suntan or doing his hair in the mirror. But then Nick, I always seem to be chatting to, only for like 10 minutes, just before they go on, really nice guy. Again, just, you know, good guys, good music, really important part of the gallery at Ministry of Sound, and thank you very much, good. Number 16 is Gareth Emery. Really like this guy a lot. He's, you know, he's very enthusiastic about DJing, making music. It's always nice to see him when he comes down to the club. He's always asking about how the gallery's been, and you know, I like that a lot. He's a cool guy, Gareth, and you know, I've known him for going back 2002, 3 maybe, I think it was, and
He was like playing, I think, for like 500 quid in one of the back rooms, and this is before anyone really knew him. He had his label. I think it was 5am Recordings, and I think it was known as GTR then. I think the track called Mistral or something. It was massive. Well, it was big for me anyway. It was. I was on, I think it was on vinyl at the time. Yeah, he's worked his way up really, and you know, and then I didn't really hear from Gareth for a bit. I don't think. I think he was in Southampton at the time, but then he did these podcasts, and it's like the new in thing, and it was next minute, bang, Gareth Emery's massive. You know, started his label Garuda and doing parties up there, and you know, then I couldn't get a date for Gareth anymore at the club at Ministry, and you know, it's an international DJ superstar. Gareth Emery's standout track, it was actually a collaboration with John O'Beir. I think it was Escapade. I still have it in my on my USB today, and it's always one of those end the night sets. If I do play trance, don't play trance that much, but I like playing it, and it is a great track, Escapade. You know, the boy done good, and I really like this guy playing there. He's been very important down at the club at Ministry, and built up a huge following, doing his Garuda parties, all just playing gallery. He's based out in LA now and stuff, so we only get him like once or twice a year, usually the Christmas party or something. And you know, everyone loves him. I love him. A very important part of the setup of the gallery. Thank you very much, Gareth. Cheers. Number 15, we have Marco V, the little guy from Holland, and he's a very nice chap. Lovely smile. Very keen to come down to the club, DJ. Yeah, his music's amazing, and he's been a very important part of the setup at the terminals. It would literally just be buzzing behind the decks, and every time you go there, it's like you had this rock going on and stuff. And he's only a little guy, and it's like it's just funny. It's just funny to watch him getting so involved with it all and stuff. And I remember we did this concept party, this Marco V Superheroes, and he did this great artwork, and it was like a cartoon sort of type thing on like tracing paper. Amazing, really cool stuff. But then when we did it, we printed out like maybe, I don't know, 15,000 flyers. I think it was the way they were packed. They was meant to have like some sort of paper in between each one, that didn't, and the way it stacked up, the print got stuck. And we had to like bin all the flyers, and Marco V, when he came down to the club, he wanted to take a few actual flyers back, and was like, oh Marco, we were so hyped up about this night. I said we just smashed them out around town in all the shops and stuff. We were just so proud to give this cool piece of artwork away, and he was like a bit disappointed. So we just emailed him the artwork, you know, online and stuff, and we was like, quick, bin those fucking like 15 boxes now. On the skip next door, because the int was like messed it all up completely. But it was a great night. That's what I loved about Marco. Always coming back with something new every time. He had that, the free room concept where he'd start off 12 to 2, play something a bit housey, 2 to 4 in the main room, doing his usual driving tech trance, and then 4 to 6 doing some sort of like darker techno sort of edge sound as well. And he just kept coming back with new concepts each year, reinventing himself. An album launch, you know, the Superheroes thing. And Marco has done a load of amazing tracks. Can't really pick one out. Solarize was a good one, or MP3. I think I was on an EP. That was massive for me. I remember playing that on the radio show quite a lot. I think it's Red, Blue, Purple. I think that's the name of the track. Yeah, Marco is an amazing DJ, amazing producer, really fantastic guy to have around. Thank you, Marco.
Number 14, Hernan Cattaneo. Love this guy. So friendly. One of the best smiles I've ever seen. Used to look like Jesus with his hair, long hair at the time. He was a bit of a rock star there. No, he wasn't. He was doesn't drink or anything like that. But since he's got married and he's got kids and stuff, he's got more respectable haircut, shall I say. But Hernan, again, another professional DJ and producer, came to us. I think it was 2000. I think Paul Oakenfold had him as his support DJ at Cream Amnesia through the summer, and Steve Lee, our resident, was at Bass Bar at the time in Ibiza, and all three of them, Paul and Hernan, used to be a resident, and Steve, be resident in Pacha on his Aries, and so they all knew each other. So then after the summer ended, Hernan came over to the UK because Steve said, look, I'll be able to sort you some work out at the gallery and stuff like that, and introduce you to a few people. I think he stayed on Steve Lee's couch for a good few months in Elephant and Castle, and we got him in at the gallery. The crowd really took to him, amazing. Same sort of with Nick Warren and Dave Seaman, but I think Hernan could do a bit more later as well. He could do any time from 2 to 4 to 4 till 6. Love it every time he comes down here. Love having a chat with him. He's really cool musically, you know. The journey that he provides, I think he provides the best musical journey out of my top 20. Definitely come and check him out if you've never checked him out before. If you're a trance fan, come on a Hernan night. It is pure class. Yeah, standout track for him, I would say. Danny Howell's On the Moon, I think it was, On the Moon. Brilliant end of night track. And yeah, I remember him at Terminals. He was like I think he played 4 hours one time, and Marco Bailey was slept in at the hotel, and he was been playing 12 till 4, and he was a bit tired. And then Mark had to go into the DJ and went, you know, Marco's running late, it's going to be about another 30 minutes. And he like slammed his headphones down. And this was before I didn't know him that well. And he slammed his headphones and went, oh, for fuck's sake, what's going on in his Argentinian accent? And I was like, ah. And he went, I'm joking, man, I'm joking. And he went, no problem. And for me, that was, I thought, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. And even now, he's still playing like twice a year for us, very busy. Just love this guy, really, really good. And I think anyone else who, especially the gallery team, Lock and Load team, Terminal team, Ministry team, you know, respect him very highly. Very good DJ. Number 13 is Eddie Halliwell, wonderful DJ, technical ability. You watch him, he just blows anyone's mind away. You know, scratching, in his early days he was scratching like mad, and you know, just trying to break it into the scene, and that's what made people recognise him and, you know, think, wow, this guy is awesome, you know. We was a bit late taking him, to be honest. I think Gatecrasher was his thing. We was his first Southern sort of major booking. Yeah, Eddie himself, I mean, he's played a load of times for us at Terminals, headlining, and also at Ministry in the early part. Went on to do his Fire It Up nights. We had a few of them, and they were quite successful. I think they were more associated with being a bit more banging. Yeah, standout track for Eddie, probably Plastic Boy, Silver Bath. Really love that when he'd play. You know, we use the same engineers, Dave Parkinson, so, you know, one of those people in my phone which, you know, every now and again you might get a little message and stuff, but, you know, DJ-wise, absolutely brilliant. Probably the best technical DJ in my top 20, without a doubt. If it was that side, he would be number 1. But he is number 13 in my personal top 20 gallery DJs. Cheers, Eddie. Number 12, again, there's quite a few DJ producers in that number 12, so I thought I would tie in the label, Anjuna Beats. That way I can get a few DJs in on this one. Anjuna Beats were, you know, started their parties when the label started back in Terminals in the small room on a Wednesday night, having like 200 people, then tagging into the Gallery 3 members party. I've got so many artists, and you know, the label is just fantastic. For me, it's probably the best trance label, up there with Armada. You know, that sort of trance sound was the key sound for the Gallery. You know, Gallery's always been like sort of 70% trance. This label was the driving point, taking the Gallery to the other years into Ministry of Sound as well. Acts like, you know, Above and Beyond, got Andy Moore in there, Super 8 Tab. One of my favourites, Smith and Pledger, also Matt Hardwick as well. Those are my key ones, and you know, all interesting guys, very professional, very, not geeky, as we say, just love making music. They're more producers than DJs, and love making music, and they're always talking about music. I'd be like getting smashed at 3 in the morning, and one of them was talking about this new kick drum that they found, and I'd be like, let's chat Monday, yeah? Monday would be good. Standout tracks for these artists, Above and Beyond, Can't Sleep, and Alone Tonight, big anthems down there. Also Andy Moore, Air for Life. Super 8 Tab, Helsinki Scorching, that was a good one. Smith and Pledger and Matt Hardwick together was that Connected. One of my favourite Gallery anthems, featured on the Gallery 18-year compilation actually. In my top 10 anthems, that one Connected, love it. Yeah, and Anjuna Beats, you know, the whole team there. They've then gone on to do, you know, 4 times a year at Ministry of Sound, sellouts, really, really good. Can't get the boys anymore, Above and Beyond, they're doing bigger and better things, you know, they're Brixton Academies, you know, Alexandra Palaces, you know, fair play to the guys. So number 12, Anjuna Beats and the boys. Thank you very much. May it continue. Number 11 is the queen of dance music. It's Miss Sister Bliss. Love this woman. She's one of the boys, been part of the setup from day one at Terminals. Loves the club night, loves the family of Terminals, the Newmans. She's brilliant, one of my favourite DJs as well. Just watching her behind the decks, this little frame, just getting lost into her music, very sexy and stuff. She's just, it's amazing. Go and watch her when you know what I mean. She's big, massive with Faithless, and obviously DJing on her own solo career. She's just one busy woman really, and you know, I think the best thing having Sister Bliss down was, especially in the Terminals days, she'd be making new tracks from Faithless all week in the studio, and then she'd road test them down at the Gallery at Terminals, you know, before anyone got to play, before they even gave them to Pete Tong to play on Radio 1, because obviously they wanted to see the reaction of a crowd, a real live audience. Friday night would be there saying to us,
like, you know, oh, this is my new one, this is God is a DJ, or, you know, We Come One, and it's just, you know, what better sort of joy to have to watch, you know, these massive tracks, massive Faithless tracks, every Faithless track's massive, and you know, to watch that destroy the dance floor, go off, to blow the roof off, amazing. Standout track for Sister Bliss, it's her own track, Sister Sister, amazing. Just that. I used to do the membership desk work there, and she played 12 to 2, and I didn't finish till like 2 o'clock. And I used to hear that, and then I'd go and have a cheeky dance on the dance floor. But yeah, Sister Sister, without a doubt, was my gallery Sister Bliss anthem. And yeah, Sister Bliss did the first gallery CD, I think. It was Modern Masters, Tall Paul, Sister Bliss, Mark Jones, I think. But yeah, she's still out there now, still DJing. And I think Faithless had got their 20th anniversary this year as well, so, you know, more of Faithless and then more solo DJing as well. A very important part of the Turmoil setup especially, and also ministry. So yeah, thank you very much, Sister Bliss. At number 10, it is Marcus Schultz. This guy, always tired every time I see him. I mean, he lives in Miami, so he's always jet lagged and stuff, and being so busy traveling all over the world. He's a lover of the long sets, love playing over, you know, 3-4 hours, which is a joy really. It saves a lot more money getting other DJs in. But yeah, Marcus, my first actual notice of Marcus was when he played Terminals, when Danny was doing the bookings. I weren't in charge of it then, but he was, I think, 2005, maybe 4. Marcus was like third on the bill, and I never heard of him. And Danny said to me, "Oh, Marcus is upstairs. Do you want to go and get him a drink and stuff?" I thought, okay, yeah. Chatted to him again, just walking up and look a bit dazed and a bit, well, not really in the best moods. He weren't chatty or anything like that, so I just got him a drink and put him into the DJ booth, and that's the last I've ever saw of him, really, to be honest. Yeah, and Marcus, you know, Cold Harbour label, and, you know, joining David Lewis at the time, which Armin's agency, and the All Armada set up, and really, you know, elevated him into the major scene and stuff, and obviously getting higher and higher in the top 100, and became a resident when we moved to ministry. He's got a good journey on his sets. Like I say, he plays a lot longer, he likes doing longer sets, and it starts with more progressive trance and stuff, and really gets into it, and it got a really big following down there with the gallery, and the crowd love him, and we do really good with the numbers and stuff. And I think his memory of the gallery at first at Term was when he'd just come down to London, and he had a studio on Cold Harbour, hence the name Cold Harbour Recordings. But he was down at Termals, and his memory was being in a DJ booth. I don't know how he got in there, but he was like, Dave Seaman was playing, and Chris Lowe from the Pet Shop Boys was there. And he was like, God, yeah, I made it. I'm in London. This is brilliant. And I came in the DJ booth. Oh, Gary Mitchell. And that just completed his ultimate lineup. Yeah, right. And now, but then Marcus, he's been here a long time, and still doing it, and playing for us like 3-4 times a year. A very nice guy, and he's got very piercing eyes. His musical progression is what stands out for me more than anything. It's a really good journey, you know, to make some really killer tracks and stuff. And I think my standout track, though, it wasn't one he'd done, it was Cast and Slide Perception. I used to love playing that, and he's played it a few times in the early opening sets. Yeah, Marcus, thank you very much.
Number 9, Fergie, Irishman. Again, party animal, full of life, a bit of a joker and stuff. And again, very important part of the Terminal setup. Not just the gallery, but also Terminal's the club, because he played for the Gay Night Trade on the Sunday mornings, which Tony and Rick brought him in. He became more frequent in the gallery setup when his hard style was very popular. I think he was like number 9 or. I think it's number 9 or something in the top 100, I think 2001. We had that connection because Stephen Chandler, who was head of Duty Free Records, Tall Paul's manager, took on Fergie, and so we was managing him there. Releases on Duty Free, Tall Paul's label. So every time he was in London, he would be always down at Terminals having a drink and stuff. And then he got his Radio 1 residency. I owe a lot to him because he actually got me as part of his Mixmag Future Heroes and stuff, and I got to do a 30-minute set on Radio 1 interview in Mixmag, and it kind of like platformed me for my career and stuff, getting my residency at the gallery. You know, his music, he was so much energy, it was banging, it was so tough. I mean, I'm trying to think of 2 tracks, but always, what's the name of it now? It was like Cameras Ready, Prepare to Flash, but it's like it was Green Velvet, but I don't know who done it, it was a real banging mix, and it's like so hard, but everyone loved that sound at the time. And then also the other one was It's a remix of Queen, Flash, craziness. It was just, every track sounded the same though, but it's just full of energy. But I think with Fergie, it wasn't the music to listen to, it was more watching him behind the decks and the personality and his interaction with the crowd and stuff. But it was only, we'd have that sort of music maybe 4 till 6, so it would be late, and then we'd have uplifting trance afterwards. It was never on early. His Radio 1 stuff that he was doing at the time, kind of, again, he would always say, what's your favourite club night? He would always, you know, mention the Gallery in there as one of his favourites. He changed his sound a little bit later. He got sick of the hard dance stuff and hard house, what it was called, and he kind of moved into like techno, electro sort of sounds, and then got a new image and stuff like that. And I think, you know, kind of detoxed a bit, and I think he's still detoxing now. And he's out in Las Vegas now. Great guy as well. And I still keep in touch with him now today. Still get the odd email asking about my family, what's happening, how the club is. I love it when DJs in the past want to know how the club is and stuff like that. How's Danny, how's Ed and stuff like that. And yeah, he's out in Las Vegas and he's living the dream out there. And yeah, Fergie, thank you very much, Fergie. Number 9 in my top 20 Gallery DJs. At number 8, it is Ferry Corsten. I love this guy so much. Really good friend as well. Massive DJ and producer. You know, a legend of the trance music. Yeah, I mean, we started having him back in 2002, I think, and being one of our biggest headliners, you know, even up to this date. Yeah, love having him down. Such a nice guy, one of the best guys in the business. He's a dinner guest as well. Love having dinner with him, must have eaten with him over 20 times. Always look forward to it. He's a lovely guy, no dramas, no egos, well easy to work with for such a big name. Some of them are difficult, but this guy is a dream. And yeah, just watching him DJ, you know, the crowd, the fans love him. He's a massive DJ, there's no denying what Ferry does, and we're very lucky to have him in Turmo's days and in ministry as well. And technically he's amazing. The music he plays, he can still like cross over from different sounds, a bit more techie and into the uplifting stuff. And I mean, even doing like dropping like punk, you know what I mean? The man's a genius at what he does. Yeah, favourite Ferry Corsten track is, you know, his own Punk. Love it. Brilliant. Very lucky to have Ferry Corsten part of the setup as well. Thank you, Ferry. Number 7, it is the one and only Steve Lee. And this guy, he is the Gallery, part of the history. I think he played the first track ever, and me and him played the last track at Turmoil together. He was just the DJ's, the resident, been there for 20 years, and the longest serving resident for us. But Steve, you know, he's a bit of a geezer, Elephant and Castle, and he's just one of a kind, Steve, to be honest. He's just always did that 6 or 7:30 slot. Many would say it's the graveyard shift, but it's not. It was just the best part. He was so important, Steve, part of this Gallery setup. We'd have all these big acts and stuff from 12 till 6, but then, more importantly, everyone waited for Steve Lee's end of the night, 6 till 7:30. You know, that's a long old session of dancing, but everyone came alive at 6 o'clock for that last hour and a half. I mean, I certainly did. I was proper wrapped in with Steve and the music he played. It was just anthems. The tracks at the time that we were playing were just so good. And also myself, I was kind of getting my foot in the door, and as DJing. In my first gig, I warmed up in the back room playing like more housey sort of stuff, but I wanted to play trance. And lucky for me, Steve Lee overslept one time, and I had my records there. And at like 5:30, Danny, well, the boss of it all, Danny Newman, said, "Have you got your records?" I'm like, "Yeah." Banged straight in there, played, and I got my monthly residency playing the last set. Slowly edging Steve Lee out. He'll hate me for that. But then Steve changed his sound around about 2006. He went a bit more housey, been a bass bar and a beefer, slowed the tempo right down, wasn't playing trance anymore, so it's a good transition. Steve Lee, anthems, I would say Mori Kante, Yeke Yeke. Still playing here once a month now, playing housey sounds. Still likes to stick around and, you know, have a laugh and have a drink. Knows all of us lot of the office, one of the boys, comes to Christmas parties and stuff. So yeah, Steve Lee, you are number 7. At number 6, it is big, massive trance DJ producer Mike, aka Push Legend. Music that he'd done the Gallery 2000, well, still going now. Well, no, actually, 1998, Universal Nation. You've got Universal Nation, Strange World, Legacy, you know, also his little aliases, you know, Silverback, Plastic Boy. He's done so many unbelievable trance tracks. The guy is a genius, and that is the gallery sound. And that's why he's at number 6, because for me, Push Strange World is my favourite gallery anthem of all time. So that's why he's in there. He's very, the way he is, the way he delivers, the way he talks to you and stuff, sometimes you think, what's going on? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want that set time, I want this. I think we had a launch party for Inferno Records with his new album, and he got down there and we never had him. We tried to get him on the Friday, but he did this Wednesday for us. The label flew him in. He come down on his own at Terminal, saw no posters or any promotion, and then just fucked off back to the hotel and said, I'm not playing. But I mean, the club wasn't even open yet. The posters were in the office getting ready to be put up. We were doing around another 5 minutes. It would have all been there for him. But that's Mike, you know, he wants things how he wants it. But, you know, he is a great DJ, great producer. I did Push Live here as well, and I actually forgot when they were playing all the other tracks that they'd done. I mean, those are the standout ones I just mentioned, but he is the gallery sound. Push is the gallery sound, and he is at number 6. And yeah, Mike, you know, thank you very much, Mike, for being part of the gallery 20-year history. Thank you very much indeed. Number 5 is Sander Van Doorn. Again, 2003, he had a lot of tracks coming out, and he didn't have an agent at the time, and I was speaking to Dan Christian at Duty Free, it was 12 Pause label, and he was like, have you heard that Sander Van Doorn track? And he had different aliases as well, I think it was Sandler and Purple Haze at the time, Sam Sharp. And then the Sander Van Doorn tracks, you know, Dark Roast, and they were massive tracks, really underground, driving, techie sound, and it was really, really cool. And I thought, I actually got a mix CD from him. I think he was just trying to get gigs and stuff, and we got one to Termos, and it came to me, and he actually like just handwritten it on with his mobile on there. And I listened to it, because I knew of his production. I gave it a go, and I said to Dan, we should get this guy. I think it's going to be really big. You know, what the gallery was always about, you know, creating new talent and stuff. And I thought it's going to be one to watch. And we was right, actually. We headlined him. It was Easter weekend in 2003 or 5? I think it's 2005 actually, 2005, and he headlined. We put him above Mark Hovey and John the Blood Fleming, who were very big DJs at the time, and we got a lot of grief off Most Wanted, the agency, saying, who's this guy, Sander Van Doorn, never heard of him, he can't be headlining. And we're like, no, we're not listening to you, this is what we believe in, and we're going to go with this. And there was another night called, I think it's called Club Nowhere, and it was another trance night that was on, and it was only doing like bank holidays and stuff. And they used to do these flyers, this big DL flyer, and it used to stick out the flyer pack where ours were A5. And then so we thought, right, well, this weekend we'll go up against them. And so we did it was a massive like flyer, and then we'd paid extra to get just about another half-inch bigger than theirs. And it had Sander Van Doorn at the top, and just to get one over them. And it was a great night. It was a packed out night. And from there, he became our resident, and we did so much with Sander. And even Most Wanted, the agency who moaned about it, and they took him on. I'm very proud to be the one who actually said, look, we've got to do this with this guy, to Danny. And it was kind of my sort of transition a little bit from moving away with the membership and the flyer and stuff into the actual being the booker. And it was like Danny took note that I was, you know, I had some sort of talent to, you know, spot these, you know, new rising stars and to make them into big superstars. And Sander did that, certainly, you know, did essential mixes, you know, cover CDs. He just blew up. It was so big in the space of, from our residency, the residency at Gallery, and then the agencies and stuff. He went massive in like 2 years, and we were good mates. We were on the phone to each other, and they were interesting, exciting times. It was having him down there, and his sound was just so fresh. It was so fresh, and the remix, I mean, he did like, that SOS was massive. He did Back by Club Demand. God, there was that King of My Castle one. So he'd done some really good cover mixes and stuff, and made him his own. And it was just that sort of man of the moment for 3 years, and obviously he got bigger and then moved agencies, and then it's like we created something from like, you know, fairly small into something massive, and then we couldn't get a date out of him anymore. Like, what did we do that for in the end? It's like, you know, we should have kept him to ourselves. But, you know, that's the way we do things, that's life. And yeah, I mean, he did the 15th birthday CD, which came out on Ministry, and that was like, you know, 5 years ago now. And after that, it was kind of like job, you know, I had my time with the gallery a little bit. You know, he got new management, and then a new sound was creating a bit more electro EDM and stuff, and he got right at the beginning of that. Then his management thought the gallery wasn't his, you know, his actual sound anymore, and we couldn't get dates for him. And it was such a shame, but it was, you know, I understand, you know, you move on, he did his time with us. Eventually, we got him back for the 20th birthday monthly celebrations at the end of May, so it's so good to have him back. And Sander Van Doorn, yeah, crucial, very important DJ, producer at that time, because the Clubland needed something fresh, the gallery at Turnwell needed something fresh just to get, you know, new crowd in there, you know, that it was getting a bit, you know, nearly enough 10 years old, and it was about time to have another DJ people could look forward to. He was just very important having Sander Van Doorn at the gallery. Thank you, Sander. Number 4 is Paul Oakenfold. It's getting a bit tougher now, you know, to who's that top 3. But yeah, he just missed out on the top 3. But number 4, Paul Oakenfold. I think he did the first birthday. I wasn't there then, is what I've heard. When they managed to do a full year of weekly parties, but they had him for the first birthday. I think that's the turning point, and that then like kind of snowballed then, and it just got bigger and bigger. You know, the gallery was established as a big name sort of club night. I remember I was there 2000. I think it was like my third, fourth night that I was working there, and I remember getting excited. And the queue was round the corner. I'd never seen a queue like that. And I don't think we ever sold tickets online. I never remember any sort of like ticket web or anything like that. I think it was just pay on the door. It was a guest list queue and the normal queue, and the queue would go right down from Turnmill Street, near enough to Farringdon Station. It was crazy. But you always used to play 12 till 2 as well, which was, it was just so big, and that's what he wanted to do. Didn't want to do late or anything, and we were kind of like wishing we would play later because of that sound, but we was happy to have him there anyway. And the club was packed at like 11:30, and Paul was very, you know, just very influential with everyone around it, you know, the other aspiring DJs and stuff like that, and resident Steve Lee knew him already, Dan Christian. There was all this excitement about Paul Oakenfold playing. He's been playing for years now, from like nearly 19 years it would be, and it still features regular at Ministry. You know, we're having 2-3 times a year, if it's Perfecto nights or just normal Paul Oakenfold on his own. The Turnmills ones are more special for me, I think. It was just because it was exciting. It was like the most exciting DJ at the time. He was number 1 in like, I think, 98 or 99 or 2000, something like that, for 2-3 years. And so he was the biggest DJ at the time. And yeah, the music that I used to play was just amazing trance. Loved it. It's a shame that I used to work on the membership desk though. And I used to finish at 2 o'clock, so I kind of like nodded my head on the membership desk at the time. It was only later when I was actually doing the bookings and I was in the booth with him and stuff like that. And then again, he used to stick around sometimes. He wanted to do 12 to 2 because he thought he was busy and he had to go somewhere, but then you still see him at 4 in the morning in the studio having a drink. Again, another veteran of the scene. He's been around for a long time and still making waves, still doing it. You know, I think my standout track with Paul, what I always remember, was probably on Huge Tunes, LSG, Neverworld, amazing. And he used to finish that off. He finished it twice, I think, when I saw him. The last track of his set. This is brilliant, you know. And then the DJ on after would never mix it, just let it play out, and then everyone would be clapping. Yeah, Paul Oakenfold, thank you very much again. Just what a great name to have, part of the gallery. Yeah, Paul, you're number 4 in my list. Thank you. At number 3, it is the one and only Mr. Armin van Buuren, number 1 DJ for 4 years running. This guy was the biggest DJ that we've ever had at the gallery. We had Tiesto and we had Paul van Dyk, but with Armin, he's played a load of times for us. Very big supporter of the gallery. Both Turnmills and Ministry of Sound. He's such a cool guy, he is, really nice guy. Again, loves the club, always asking about it. Very upset when Turnmills went. He was like very close to me at the time, back in 2003, because he signed on one of my tracks and we met at Global Gathering and we were talking backstage, and it was a very exciting time for me as well. But then we became friends, we swapped numbers, and even when I knew, I used to have a joke and say, I think you're going to be number 1 this year. I bet you £50 you'll be number 1. And it was like, oh, I hope so. And then he was like number, I don't know, 20 or something. And it was like, next year, definitely going to be £50 this year. And then kept going higher and higher, and it was like number 3. And then I think that was the last time we put the bet on. And then I think the year I knew Leslie, right, at DJ Magazine, and I knew he was going to be number 1, so I didn't put the bet on that year. But Armin, you know, he used to play, he'd done I think 2 of our birthdays. He did the 13th and the 14th birthday, which were also the launch party at Ministry. And it was really important that we had him, because it was like making a statement from moving from Turnmills, going to Ministry of Sound, which Ministry was the biggest club brand in the world. The gallery was like probably London's club night. And having the world's number 1 DJ, Armin van Buuren, it was a great statement. And to carry on the gallery in London at a huge venue. And it was like it wasn't like, oh, Turnmills finished now, we're just going to be a little monthly party. It was a step up, and we just kept getting bigger and better. And I'm very thankful for Armin for doing that and paving the way for the following sort of 7 years, really. And he did about 4 or 5 Christmas parties. He even did a boat party with us. He'd be backstage. You could take a photo with him with a banana in his ear. We used that on the e-flyer. He's just a cool, fun guy. And I remember after the boat party, one of the car companies didn't pick him up, and my mate had a crappy Fiesta, and it was him and his missus and me, and we were all like crammed up in the back with our record boxes as well on our knees. And I was like, oh, sorry about this, Armin. He went, oh, it's fine. But he's a cool guy, true professional. What he's done, music,
got a massive following. He's a superstar. Yeah, standout track for me, probably Communication, or Blue Fear maybe. Communication, definitely Communication. I was playing that back in like, I think 2001 as well, when I do my end night sets. He's done too many to choose from, but Communication is my favourite. Very lucky to have Armin van Buuren at the gallery. Thank you very much, Armin. It's been a pleasure, and maybe 25th birthday?
Number 2 is Tor Paul, the founder of the gallery. Started back in 1995. It was Paul's birthday, and basically Paul was becoming a big DJ on the scene, in the UK scene, doing all these Fantasia compilations and featuring up north at Cream and stuff like that. I think he always wanted to do a northern club night with that energy, with the up for it crowd. He wanted to do something like that in London because there was nothing around like that, and he had the idea of doing this. His dad owned the club Turmoils. Brother Danny was at the start was one of the bookers. Yeah, it's Paul's night. It's his baby, and 20 years he's been running it, and Tor Paul is one of my favourite DJs. The production side, again, technical DJ, scratching, everything, personality-wise. Again, love speaking to him on the phone, a friend. When I was breaking into getting my foot in the door at Turmoils, I think I just started working there. I've been there 2 weeks. And then I went on a holiday with my brother to Ibiza, and I was a bit worse for wear, and it was like in the morning time, and he was doing an interview at Kenya, and I was still up from the night before, and I went over there, introduced myself, and he's probably thinking, who the fuck's this? It was just funny, actually, how I met him, and following him around, at Cream and Gatecrasher as a clubber. Loved him, thought it was brilliant. And then I was actually living in Tenerife, and someone introduced me to the Modern Masters CD, which came out in '98, and I just loved it. It was Tor Paul live, and he just had me hooked in from there, and he's a world-class DJ, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what he's done, everyone out there should be thankful that he started this night at the gallery. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be here. Tor Paul anthem for me at the gallery, probably Turmoils Day. Still plays every now and again here. DJ Sandy, Overdrive, funky as hell, driving, as it says, Overdrive. It's just constant. Oh man, it's amazing. I just loved seeing him and his brother at Turmoils, and Danny be doing the lights, Paul be DJing, because they're both pretty tall, and they're just doing it at the same time in motion, and it's like, it's so good, so funky. And so yeah, DJ Sandy, Overdrive was my Tor Paul key track for him. Well, he should be number 1 because it is his night, but for me, it's my personal top 20, and there's someone else at number 1 who just clips it by that much, only that much. But yeah, Tor Paul, thank you. Job well done, brilliant.
Well, we're at number 1 from the top 20 countdown. We're seeing trance DJs and progressive DJs, a mixture of personalities and sounds, shall we say. Number 1 is the one and only Judge Jules. The guy, I love him so much. He's one of my heroes from even going to see Cream in Liverpool and Gatecrasher in Sheffield. He just pipped it over Paul. Paul really should be number 1 because it was his night and brand and stuff. I hope you forgive me, Paul. But yeah, I think once Gallery went to Ministry, Paul kind of he stopped making music, and Jules carried on. He's still doing Radio 1 and doing a lot of trance tracks and being very busy and stuff. And he's been there from day one, and he's always played like good 8 times a year for the past 20 years. Always did like 4 till 6, which I always loved. The guy behind the decks, he's got such personality, charisma. I really enjoy watching what he does. Some of the stuff's crazy, like on the screen and stuff. It's just funny to me, but funny in a cool way. Just Jules, once you know him, he's that kind of guy. And I love the music he's always played, and especially like sort of 99 to 2003, that was like the height of those sort of trance tracks. No dramas from Jules either, just come in, play, go, and that was it. Always did interviews for us, always said really kind messages on video messages for birthdays. Yeah, he was just, the guy's a genius and one of the legends, isn't he, in dance music, not just at the gallery, but everywhere. Stories for what I've got from Jules. I mean, I remember he was my hero, and I was playing somewhere else, and I went down and met him at Radio 1, and I was like, I got my Just Jules Radio 1 pass, and we went on the road. I think we were playing in Shrewsbury or something, but and that's how I bonded with him really from there. And I thought, yeah, this is great. I would have loved 4 or 5 years ago to even shook Jules' hand or have a picture with him, and now I'm on the road to a gig, just come Radio 1. And standout track for Just Jules, so many again. I remember there was one time, it was Aurora, Who You Calling? I think it was on Positiva, and he dropped it 5 to 6 at Turmoils. It was his last track of the night. Steve Lee was getting it go on. And it just amazing. I can still close my eyes and think about this now. I had my hands up in the air, and then this, as I was reaching for the laser, and then this girl touched my hand, and it kind of went through and went, this is the best track I've heard all night, and we both went for it, and that was my memory of it. And It still stands out pretty clear today. And the other one as well, the Highgate tracks, you know, Pitching, Cane and Unable were massive tracks down there. Yeah, so many, but all good. I just love the guy, and you know, he's been a big asset for the gallery, Turmoils and Ministry of Sound. He did the 18th birthday compilation as well. The guy is my favourite #1 gallery DJ. And I thank all the DJs who have featured in this top 20, and I thank all the DJs who didn't make it. There were too many to choose from, to be honest. Yeah, thank you for everyone. Like I say, it's just a bit of friendly fun, that's all it is. I hope I'm not upset anyone for leaving anyone out, but you know, big thanks, and may it continue for another 20 years. Thank you very much. I'm Gavin Mitchell, and this is The Gallery.